Hello everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world. I'm going to be sharing with you today how to use one of the new dies in the 2020-2021 annual catalogue, and it's the Peony Dies. Now if you look in your catalogue, you can see that it's this one here, and so I'm gonna show you. I've already made this one up. The intent isn't really to create a card, but since I had a flower I thought I would use it up anyway. So let me introduce you to the dies. So these are the Peony Dies. There's an extraordinary number of dies in here, and it does go with the prized peony stamp set, and there are dies that will cut out this flower and these leaves. But the dies that you need to create the sort of 3D peony are these ones. So you've got the larger one. There's actually 4 here, and so those 4 will create the actual flower, and then the leaves. There's 3 leaves here, and then there's the extra pieces which give you like I don't know what you'd call it, a shadow, or anyway, but it gives you sort of an extra dimension to your card, to your leaves, and it's these 3 pieces here. There they are. So to make one flower you would need all these pieces, and I did find that you can get all 4 of these pieces out of a strip that's 8.5 by 2 3/4. So you can actually get 4 flowers out of a sheet of cardstock, and then you can use some scraps to do your leaves. So I already did the cutting out to save time, and also to try and make it easier for you to see, I've created it in grey and white. So the alternate layers are in different colours, and it's just so much easier to be able to see how they go together. So I'm going to slide those all off of there like that, and I've made up some of the leaves, and I've made up I've left one to show you how to make up. So I've got my pieces, and to give them a little bit of life, I've got some grey smoky slate ink, and I'm going to put a tiny little bit on one of my acrylic blocks. You can use a paper plate as long as it's not absorbent, and I'm going to use some alcohol. Now this is known as isopropanol alcohol. Sometimes it's called rubbing alcohol. You can get it from most drugstores or supermarkets in the pharmacy section. Just make sure you get the 91%. There's a 70%, I believe. But that's got a bit too much water in it. This 91% will dry nice and quickly. And I've got one of my old aqua painters, which I filled with some IPA, and I'm just going to squeeze some IPA or some alcohol onto my block with the ink, and I'm just going to kind of gently paint over that gap. Now that's got a cut line, and the die does that, and it just helps to put some I don't know what to call it, some shading to give it a bit more life. And I've already done the big one, and you can see that it will dry quickly. And I'm just going to put a little bit around the edges again, just to give it some life. And you would do this in whatever color that you choose to use. If you use a pink, you'd probably use a pinky ink, just to give it you know, a bit more life. And I'll clean that off in a moment. Then I basically took my piece and I kind of scrunched it a bit. I know the first thing everybody thinks of is, ooh, scrunched card. But anyway, I scrunched up my piece of card like this, and I'm just, again, it helps to give it what I call it life. You know, it makes it look a bit more realistic. And I think I painted that one on the wrong side. Just shows you. I'll just put a bit more on that one, but it's not gonna show. I'll tell you why in a minute. I thought I'd done it on the wrong side, and it'll make a bit more sense. And then this one, again, scrunched up. And then again, to add a little bit more interest, I got a sponge, and I'm just sponging the edges. And again, I'm using my smoky slate ink, but you would use whatever ink that you colour to support whatever you've chosen to do for your flowers. And here we go. This one has already been done. This piece I know is going to stick out, so I just give it a little bit more. Okay, so that's how I get my colour on. So now we're going to talk about assembling. So if you line your pieces up, I've done them alternate colours so it's easy to assemble. But if you look, you'll see that each one at the bottom has kind of got a down, and it goes up and down and up. And this one does the same, this one does the same, and this one does the same. And that's how I knew I'd got this one up. I got this one back to front, because I knew that this little uppy piece here should be on the left, not on the right. So you're then gonna start by using the smallest first, and you're going to insert it in here, in this part here, in that gap that the die creates. And the important thing is that, can you see how these match up? So you're just going to slide them like that until those bits match up. It's that simple. And at this point, you can use a glue dot, or you can use some snail adhesive. So I'm just going to, for quickness sake, I'm just going to get a glue dot, and I'm going to carefully tuck it in between these two pieces here. And then I'm just going to realign them, real simple to do, like that, and just give it a squeeze. And then again, I'm using an alternate color so that you can see how easy it is to put them in. To make it easy, I think I'm going to put a glue dot on this one this time. And so again, I'm going to slot it in here, and again, I'm lining it up so that the cut bottom edges are all lined up, and then give it a little squeeze. And then my final one is this. Now for this one, I'm going to put my glue dot on this piece there. And then again, I'm going to slide it in the middle here. And again, I'm going to line up my pieces, so everything is all lined up, and just give it a squeeze. And then I am just going to flick out my pieces, just to, again, make sure that they're all showing and looking really pretty. So this one's turned out better than my last one, actually. The last one I wasn't terribly fond of, but I couldn't waste it, so I've popped it on a card. And then there's one other little piece. This is cut out. There's a piece in the die here, just here, and I've cut this out, and it's basically the center of the flower. Makes it look more realistic. So I'm just going to put another glue dot on there. Just gently feed it down into there, like that. Again, give it a little squeeze and then fluff up all my petals again, like that. Oh, it's not too bad. You can go and put some Wink Stella on it or something like that if you wanted to. Now, as for the leaves, these little pieces I've cut the leaves in smoky slate and basic grey for the highlighted pieces, and they fit on like this, and I'm just going to use the tiniest touch of liquid glue just on the key parts, just like this. And you've probably heard me say many times before, I like to use liquid glue because it gives me time to move it around and smoosh it and get it all lined up. And if you look, the wavy side of the dark grey piece matches up with the wavy side of the light grey piece. And then you've got like that. Now, I just put some, sponge this a little bit with the dark grey, again, just to give it a bit more definition. And then I'm just trying to think what I did. I think I laid my two smaller ones on top of one another with a glue dot. Like this. And then another glue dot underneath to just pop it like that. And then I think my other one I popped rather at the top, coming out like that. So there's my flower. And just to sort of put it, to just get it all completed, nobody says that a peony has to be pink or white, but I've got a piece of smoky slate, and I've run this through the Big Shot with the dainty, not the Big Shot, but my embossing machine rather, with the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, and I'm just going to stick that down like this. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. I think I want to move that up a little bit for what I want to do. Oh, I'll tell you why in a sec, it'll come clear. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my flower. I'll put another one there. So I'll put the information about the dimensions for the card on my blog, and you'll be able to get there for using a link beneath this video. And that's the reason I wanted that leaf to be in a different position, so it would kind of fit on my card. And then I've created myself a greeting, and I've used the Best Wishes from the Borders Around stamp set. And I used a couple of punches. I think one's called the Lovely Labels one, and the other is called, I've forgotten. But again, the information will be on my blog. It kind of gets you like that sometimes. So these are my two punches that I've used. And my final flourish, because there always has to be a final flourish, is a bow made out of the Whisper White. This is the Whisper White crinkled seam binding. And again, I'm going to pop that on with a dimensional. And just kind of pop it there so that it is sort of dangling over. And there we are. So hopefully, if you've been looking at those dies and wondering how they go together, there you go. This is exactly how it works. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.